emergency coordinator. And what we're doing here is we set up a mobile command station for monitoring and patrolling the St. John levee. Kind of head off in incidents that might be a weak spot in the levees. We've been sending out two-man teams around the clock since Wednesday, working 4-hour shifts. So we've had six shifts every 24 hours. And we go out, we patrol the levee. There's been a lot of surface water popping up through the ground from where our flood pool has been dewatering itself with the dewatering wells out in the flood pool on the inside of the levee. So we get a lot of spots that the pressure change from the pump down creates water seepage out of the ground. Sometimes they look like possible sand boils, which would be a weak spot in the soil. But and we've marked a great deal, or quite a few places up on the levee that we've been monitoring pretty heavily. And so far they've all quit. So they've at this point they're just monitoring or in the monitoring stage, no longer any concern. But we're trying to be proactive to head off any levee breakage, because if we can catch something quickly enough, we can prevent it, or do the best that we can to prevent it. Part of our protocols when we first set up on Wednesday, we had St. John PD down here, and I'm working closely with the emergency management in the city. So if we did have a levee break, we can activate. We would know first before it happened, more likely, and then the St. John Police Department, as well as city and emergency management, can notify the residents in the flood area to be able to evacuate before loss of life.
How do you pinpoint those, Norm?
We go out to when my team members out on patrol notice water coming up out of the ground. They'll mark it with a white flag that we've provided them, and then they'll radio back here into command, and then I'll go out and I'll GPS locate it, and then command here puts it up on the map so that we have a visual idea of the area that's of most concern. And then we monitor flood stage and everything from here. We monitor area news broadcasts for areas above us and below us for levee breakage, so that we can get an idea of what to expect from breakage from other levees or additional rainfall up north that will affect us. We're really trying to stay proactive on this and protect the citizens of St. Genevieve. Emergency management has worked really well with us. St. Genevieve Police Department, as well as the city, has worked really well with us, and they're quick to respond. Felix Meyer, Emergency Management Director here in St. John, he was Tuesday morning. I had a meeting with him, and based on my previous initiation contact with him earlier at the beginning of this flood event, that I informed him that we could be of assistance to St. John with our local areas mobility, and that we could monitor the levee if need be, or whatever capacity emergency management needed us in. And to this point, I think we have shown that we are a very viable asset to the community with our mobility and our capabilities, with our communications and our ability to get additional people in from out of the area, as well as getting cooperation from local volunteers to come out and help us.
How much longer will the volunteer patrols be walking the levee?
We're expecting right now, we believe that the river has crested, and it is starting to slowly fall, but it will maintain a level for at least a day or so. So we're expecting to probably go into at least Wednesday with patrols, unless emergency management decides to deactivate us before then. Right now, we've got enough people, volunteers, to patrol through Sunday. We're still trying to get volunteers for Monday through Wednesday. We know people have to go back to work come Monday. I'm going to lose my assistant emergency coordinator here on Monday because he has to go back to work. But we're here, we're committed, we'll manage with what we can, and I'll get additional resources from outside the county if I need to. Trying to keep everything local because most of the state of Missouri is affected by this flood, so everybody's busy.
If somebody wanted to volunteer?
If somebody wanted to volunteer while we are activated here, they can either contact City Hall or come by here at the St. John Park. Is there somebody here, at least one person here around the clock? And that's not counting myself because I'm floating all the time. I haven't left here since I arrived here Wednesday. Been here and out on the levee. So people can either come here at the City Hall, or they can email me at sgares.ec@gmail.com, which is my email account for the St. John Aries. And be glad to take any volunteers. My phone number as well is 636-209-0694. And what is Anna's number?
573-535-9577.
We welcome all the volunteers we can. This is kind of a pet of mine because I've got extensive training and experience in installing coffer dams as a hard hat diver. So I know what I'm looking at here. So my volunteers, I'm able to give a very quick crash course on what I'm looking for and what needs to be reported and how we can respond to that. And then in addition, with our volunteers, our non-ham operators, we're giving them a quick rundown on radio procedures.
Is there any chance you take a list of people for future
Absolutely.
occurrences?
We would take a list for future occurrences of volunteers that would be willing to assist us. And even for this event, even if we have people volunteer for additional shifts throughout the week and we get deactivated, it's better to have them on the list and not need them than need them and not have them. We would love to get more of the community members involved in amateur radio itself. It's very easy to get a technician license. If you pass a high school exam, you can get a technician license. It's just that simple. Better understanding of our capabilities and as well as protocols of how we handle emergencies. We train try to train on a regular basis, or as much as a regular basis as we can, to respond to situations just like this. And I'm hoping to, since we're approving our asset to the community, I'm hoping to expand emergency management to include events like search and rescue, where we have teams out searching. We need communications with our people out away from the command because communication is the key to a successful operation. And that's pretty much what we do here.
And we're monitoring, as Norm said, we're monitoring the areas of concern here, and also we've been monitoring the river level to see where it's at, and we're monitoring St. John Police and the fire department frequencies on the radio. And just got one of our levee walkers just walked in for the next shift. But as we don't have enough amateur radio operators to actually put some out on the levee and that. We're going with just volunteers that come in, and we're using radio frequencies that are non-licensed. And my employer, Randy Lamont, President and CEO of PIVA, was gracious enough to loan us two-way radios to use for this operation, and I want to thank him for that. Riverview Manor is allowing us to use our internet, so we do have internet capability here. So just want to thank them. But I mean, it's been wonderful. The number of volunteers right now, we're up to 35 people that volunteered to walk the levee, and we've got a repeat walker here. So we couldn't do it without them.
Howard, would you like to tell us how maybe your experience with the Sheriff's Department has helped you?
Well, yes, I would. We in the Sheriff's Office, when I was working there, responded to many different types of emergency situations. Flooding, the flood of '93, looking for people that are lost in the Hawn State Park, for an example. And so that helps me to kind of relate to what we're going through here during this process. And it gives you an opportunity to meet with the people that are volunteering, and they know that we do have some experience at dealing with these sorts of things.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And this one right around the flag, you can see the
Air pressure being released.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. I haven't seen anything else, but it's pretty active all over. There's some right there.
I can see it.
So
Yeah, it's just
like I said, I don't know if it's from
Well,
we're walking on it nearby,
oh,
creating more pressure too.
a lot of times, you know, this has been here for a long time. We've had dry periods.
Sure.
And so we get cracks in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
And when this water all came in here so quickly, it trapped air
Sure.
in these cracks.
Yeah.
And then we dewatered so quickly that it leaves pools like this, but the pressure change has created the release of the air
there's not
bubbles.
the pressure from the water.
So it's
holding
not
the air
necessarily
down.
a weak spot in the levee. It's just air being released, but we monitor them just in case. So let me call this in, and Levee Command, this is Nightcrawler.
Go ahead, Nightcrawler.
I'm with the shift team, and I'm out here. We got a location. Let me know when you're ready to copy some GPS coordinates.
Stand by, please. Go ahead.
November 3-7 degrees. 5 9er 3 5 4. Whiskey 9er 0 degrees. 2 decimal 306.
10-4, got it.
Roger. And that is what we look for, and we continue monitoring it until the flood stage is over. If a problem should develop, it's probably going to develop in one of these places we've white flagged, and if by running teams around the clock, we can keep an eye on them. A lot of these have become inactive. They've stopped bubbling. They're inactive, but we continue monitoring them because if we can catch a situation from developing, what we're really get concerned is if we got muddy water coming out. Then we got active erosion. So, but even by that, if we can catch it quick enough, put enough head pressure on it, it will stabilize. So that's why we do this.
And the head pressure comes from the sandbags?
Well, there's a couple of different methods of, in my experience, of creating head pressure on a sand boil, and that's you can either pack enough material on top of it to create enough pressure to keep it from coming out. Problem with that, water's going to find the point of least resistance. So, in past experience, if you put soil or sandbags directly on top of the situation, or
you're just moving the problem.
The point, it just moves the problem outwards. So the best two ways is to ring it with sandbags and line it, and then just build sandbags up as you need to contain the water pressure directly over the the issue, but in a wide enough area that it's least likely to spread. The other one is to put a standpipe. Drive a piece of pipe, a 4-inch, and I've driven 16-inch pipe, steel pipe, into the ground on different projects, to where the water pressure can build up into the pipe. It raises as the pressure is forcing its way through. The water comes up in the pipe, and that creates enough head pressure to equalize to the outside to stop it. And them are the two best methods of preventing a levee or a cofferdam from breaking out.
Will you pull this flag at any time, or are you gonna?
When this flood event is over, then we'll pull the flags.
But until then, the flag stays.
Yes. Prevent a sand boil from becoming too much of a problem is by ringing it with sandbags, and then putting plastic down and allowing the water to come on top of the plastic, because that'll build pressure on top of the plastic and drive that plastic down to the ground, which creates a hydraulic pressure. And then you get enough hydraulic pressure on top of it, then it stops any further development of a potential or active sand boil.
And there's no water on top, so we know it's not a problem?
No, these are inactive. These were precautions that we took last night that I felt warranted it. But at the time, it was clear water, but and I felt that it was the saturation, soil saturation from above, finding the weak cracks in dry soil or previous dry soil, and it was working its way to an easy release to the surface, and they became active. I was out here for 8 hours after it was discovered. When I left here at midnight last night, they were already becoming inactive. So
explain the clean and the dirty water, Norm.
The clean water is just typically just the soil saturation, generally, or water coming through a crack that's already been washed out. You got stones and stuff deeper in the soil that it's already washed the soil out from between stones, and so it's just clean water coming out, which that's a very easy fix, in my opinion. Dirty water coming up out of the ground is a very clear indication that you've got erosion being taking place right then, and so then you got to You got to do a little bit of proactive maintenance, so to speak, to try and head it off before it does too much damage. You can use just about any type of grass, but wild grass, something that's got good roots. You see it all along the highways that they're built, new highways and roads they build. They spread grass seeds and stuff out just to maintain the soil condition to prevent erosion. You got to have roots, close-knit roots, to hold the soil together.
Animal-wise, what's your biggest concern?
Animal-wise, on the outside, generally on the outside of levees is beavers. Beavers are real bad about burrowing into the banks, and river otters and river rats and stuff like that. Anything that burrows in the ground, they'll undermine a earthen dam or levee, and so you gotta monitor that. And keep trying to prevent them or discourage them to go elsewhere to burrow in the ground. Most concern to earthen urban style levee because they'll just completely destroy it. Number of dams, people lose dams all the time on personal ponds and stuff because of beavers and undermining their dam, and it just becomes a weak spot, and the pressure of the water eventually blows it out because of the undermining.
Oh, you're inspecting all year round.
Yes. Yeah. Now this is the first time I've been out here to this levee, but from day one that I've been out here, I did a thorough inspection. In fact, I spent the remainder of the day, which was several hours, and then well into the night, I walked the full length of this levee, both sides, just to see the quality of the levee. And this is probably one of the best built levees that I've seen in a long time, and best maintained levee that I've seen in a long time. The community needs to be proud for what they have. And the people that take care of it. They've done an excellent job. And just like these things that we're monitoring with these white flags, it's of no concern. It's not alarming. It's not of real concern. Just a typical dewatering process from saturated soil. But we'd rather keep an eye on it just to make sure nothing happens. And if something does happen, we can at least get. If we can't prevent it, we can at least get the flood-affected areas evacuated in time.